Ladies and gentlemen, the voice you have not heard since 2024 makes its return. It's been a long time coming, and I really want to apologize for not treating you guys with some of that good old Octave F1 content. Well, it's 2025. Happy New Year to all of you, even though I'm 4 weeks late. But yes, if you're still subscribed, thank you so much for sticking around with the squad, the rest of us that are still there. And if you're not subscribed and if you're watching this for the first time, well, even though I've not done anything just yet, still, please subscribe because you shall not be disappointed. The 2025 Formula One World Championship is right upon us. The 75th anniversary of the wonderful motorsport series that we well and truly love. Well, there's a lot, and of course in classic style like I was usually doing in 2024, I'm giving you some proper, enticing, interesting, and arousing, I don't know if I can say arousing, but yes, some very interesting facts that you need to know ahead of the 2025 Formula One World Championship. Going into the 2025 Formula One World Championship, there has only been one manufacturer that has stood out to be the all-time undisputed greatest in the sport's now 75th year history. And of course, that is Ferrari, the Scuderia Ferrari, straight out of Italy from specifically Fiorano. Now, Ferrari is top of the headlines in 2025 because of one man, a man who is to many people, including myself, the undisputed greatest F1 driver of all time. No, it's not Michael Schumacher because this is 2025 and not 2005. It is Sir Lewis Hamilton, the man who has won 7 world championships, 105 Grand Prix, and he is on the verge, if everything goes right, to secure an 8th Formula One World Championship. A record, by the way. But there's another record that he could hold. He could become the first driver in Formula One history to win their home Grand Prix for 3 different teams. Well, he did it with McLaren, Mercedes, and he could do it with Ferrari. For McLaren, he did it in 2008. For Mercedes, he did it in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2019, 2020, and 2021, not excluding 2024. Now, you could argue, if you pay attention to the facts very well, that there is another driver that could become part of this record, and that is Fernando Alonso, who has won his home Grand Prix for 2 different manufacturers and could win it for a third one. He won it with Renault, he won it with Ferrari, and he could win it with Aston Martin. But going into 2025, we do not know how unlikely or how likely it is for him to actually do that. While we were on the basis of Lewis Hamilton going to Ferrari or being at Ferrari for the 2025 season, there was the empty void that was not filled by anybody at Mercedes. But they found a replacement, and that had to be 18-year-old Andrea Kimi Antonelli, just known by many other people, or if not everybody, as Kimi Antonelli. Another Kimi entering the Formula One World Championship, but this time he is a bit younger. He's making his F1 debut at the Australian Grand Prix, and he's going to be 18 years of age, born on the 25th of August 2006. Now, 2006 was a very long time ago. So, if you want to feel old, well, I'm gonna give you some details about how the grid used to be back in 2006. Well, your 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton had 0 titles in 2006 because he was racing in GP2, at the time known as GP2, a series that was only in its second season running. Red Bull Racing had been in its second season of Formula One. They were with David Coulthard and Christian Klein. Fernando Alonso was the reigning World Drivers' Champion and won the title that very year, beating Schumacher from winning an 8th. There were 2 tyre suppliers in 2006, Michelin and Bridgestone, and as you may know, both of those brands are no longer in the sport. Lastly, this one is going to hit hard. Toro Rosso, as it was called back then, was making its debut in the sport, and they were the last team to ever run the V10 engine, the 3-liter V10 engine in Formula One. But of course, they couldn't run it to the fullest revs, as it were, prior to 2006, so that they could be equal to the rest of the grid that was running the 2.4-liter V8 engines. Another interesting fact going into the 2025 Formula One season is that it's going to be the last ever season we are going to see the drag reduction system, or as we all know it as DRS. DRS will no longer be in the sport in 2026 by the time the new regulations come out, because the sport will be switching to active aerodynamics and wings that will be able to move, as it clearly says, active aerodynamics, wings that will be able to move. And there will be modes such as X mode and Z mode, which will be altered, which you can alter on the straights or on the corners to help you increase maximum top speed or downforce in those high and technical corners of a racetrack. The last fact on this list is the Bahrain and Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. These are races that are usually in March, but this year it's not going to be taking place in March. Both of those races, they will be in April instead, and their slots were replaced with the Chinese and Japanese Grand Prix. This was to avoid the races not being in Ramadan season, as it was last year when both races had to be held on a Saturday. Now, racing on a Saturday was kind of strange because Sunday was usually the boring day, nothing to do really. But this year they've taken into account, and they will make sure that the races are held in April rather than March, because March is when Ramadan is going to be taking place. On that note, this is where we end. And ahead of the 75th season of Formula One racing, we are in for a treat. We hope, but we are so confident that the 2025 season will be one for the ages. Many rookies, many transfers, and a whole lot of excitement ahead. If you are new to the channel ahead of 2025 and are not subscribed, please do the needful and press that subscribe button. If you are subscribed, well, stay subscribed. And remember to share the channel and videos around to many of your friends, maybe your colleagues as well. Thank you so much for watching, and for the first time in 2025, I shall say, see you next time.